Steve Coates from the Flyers Radio Network here on 97.3 ESPN. Coatesy, welcome back, pal.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great, and the PT and I having a couple of laughs, and we're also having a good conversation about what's happening out there. And, I would say this, I don't think a lot of people expected the Flyers to win this series. However, when they won the 2 games in a row, let me ask you, Coatesy, what separates these 2 teams when you look at it now that it's over? What is the separation between that Capitals team and where Philadelphia is?
Well, the number one thing would be that they're a lot deeper. I mean, they're deeper at every position. They've got 4 very strong lines. The personalities of their lines fit for a complete 60-minute hockey game. Same thing with their defense. Obviously, they've got an outstanding goaltender who should win the Vezina Trophy. So when you take a look at the makeup of the Washington Capitals, they've got it all. The Flyers were a team that were relying on one line, and the line didn't really produce. So when you have that problem, you're not going to score any goals, and when you don't score goals, you're not going to beat anybody. So basically, that's very simple to look at. I thought the Flyers' defense really played very well for a group that was really outmatched as far as the size differential. I mean, Washington's got big forwards, and when you have the size of the defense the Flyers had, it was a struggle. But I thought they did a really good job considering all those different problems. And then I think that Mason played well in Game 1, really well. I mean, in fact, outstanding. And then in Game 2, you had a couple of blips. That's what happens in the playoffs. You have mistakes. Next thing you know, the puck's in the net. And all those shots that they took on Holtby, they had 19 shots in the first period. That's more than they all had in the whole first game, rather. So when you take a look at all that, the team itself is a team that's got a lot of growth ability and something to look forward to. But the difference is depth. Depth and size, I would say, are your 2 big situations.
So that being said, you watch game 6 and they lose 1-0. Is there a part that says, man, they were so close to be able to win that game that you're still like they had a shot to win this series even though there is separation?
That's absolutely correct. That's what's great about playoff hockey. I mean, when you get into that competition between Neuwirth and Holtby, I mean, it was just great. It was a great subplot considering the fact they'd been teammates. They'd won a Calder Cup together down in the American Hockey League. And then on top of that, you had, obviously Holtby took Neuwirth's position when he became the number 1 goaltender in Washington.
Steve Coates with us here on the Sports Bash, and we're talking goaltending. A lot of people, Coatesy, at least they said to me, boy, if Neuwirth had played earlier in the series, the Flyers would have won. I would try to tell them that's assuming facts, not into evidence. But how do you see that goalie matchup? I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but could you see one of the goalies leaving, perhaps? How do you see the goalies between Michael Neuwirth and Steve Mason?
First of all, you couldn't have changed the rhythm of the goaltending. The goaltending went the rhythm that I would have expected to, and I wasn't surprised Dave Haxtell went with that rhythm. When Neuwirth was given the opportunity, he certainly excelled. But when you take a look at the goaltending situation here, I mean, you're only as good as your last game. We all know that Neuwirth was the guy that we looked to during the season, and Mason came in and played spectacularly. So I guess when you take a look at this, it's a tough situation for the general managers.
Yeah, and, obviously you got 2 guys with another year both left. Is it a healthy – we're looking at what's going on with the Eagles right now, and the one guy doesn't want to be here because they got 2 guys. Is it a healthy situation to go back to what they had this year, Coatesy, and just keep both guys and let them battle it out again? Or did Neuwirth prove that he deserves the job? Did Mason prove that he deserves the job?
I think some goaltenders like the competition. Other goaltenders like to feel that they're the guy, and then somebody else that's the backup has to understand that he was the backup. I think that everybody at the beginning of the season thought that Mason was the number 1 guy and Neuwirth was the backup. But then Neuwirth came on, and so it creates a situation where both could be number 1s. I don't know if you can live under one roof like that with some goalies. So it's just a matter of time to figure out what's happening.
Who were some unsung heroes, Coatsy, that stood out in the postseason and maybe earned themselves a permanent spot with the Flyers and didn't have that going into the playoffs? Who were the names that jumped out at you like, wow, they really played well?
I thought Brandon Manning was spectacular. I thought Brandon Manning really came on. I thought Nick Cousins played very well. I just think that when you take a look at those, I thought Andrew McDonald was spectacular. I thought that Andrew McDonald filled in for Delzato, who came in, and he was just really, really good at what he does.
Steve Coates is with us. I want to get your opinion on Shen and what they should do there. We've talked a lot about him over the course of our conversations, Coatsy. He's a restricted free agent. Is he must bring back?
Yeah, I would say so. You're not going to be able to find somebody that's as good as what he does. He plays center. He plays left wing. No, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd just go out and bring him in. I think he's growing. I thought he was really physical in the that first round against Washington. Did a great job. He's got a hearing, in fact, for the hit on Oshie. But I think that he has been. I think he's getting better and better every year. Hey guys,
yeah,
I apologize, but you and I are working at the same time. I'm doing interviews right now, and if you don't mind, I got to go.
Oh,
yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, Coatsy. All right, buddy.
Hey, we're happy to have you, bud.
Thanks, guys. I got to go.